if you could actually go somewhere with Ted, do something special, what would you, Max, be like? You would like to do? Like, where would you take him? Like,
I might take him to like the zoo and throw him in with the gorillas and just see what happens. I think that would be very funny.
we go back to the series from, the first stages of your relationship with Ted. What can you tell me about this relationship in this time period without, getting in any spoilers?
Yeah, I think the relationship is largely John's heart being in the right place, but being easily corruptible by this little demon bear, who's probably possessed by the devil or something. And it goes through sort of a lot of firsts. First time smoking weed, first time watching porn, first date, stuff like that. That's sort of where the character is at the point in time in the series. Yeah.
I really like that, the Boston accent is really particular. And well, you're from LA, I think. So
Yes.
What can you tell me about your training, to gain this particular accent?
Right. So I worked for a while before the show started with a very great dialect coach that the studio set me up with. A big part of that was he put together YouTube playlists that are just people from South Boston talking. And I would have those in my ears while I was playing video games, while I was out for a walk, while I was just sitting in the park doing nothing, just to get that voice and those mannerisms really deep into my brain. That was a long process, and I really wanted to make sure to get it right, because I don't know if you know, but Bostonians are very particular about their accent's representation in media, and they are very vocal when they don't like it. So I wanted to avoid that at all costs.
I know, and they have this really strong relationships with their family as well, I see. So what can you tell me about this relationship in particular? You can get a chance to see that in episode 1. So what can you tell me about it?
I mean, it really is like a real life family dynamic. Like we really wanted to make sure that it felt lived in, that it felt like we all knew each other and had relationships going into it. We spent a lot of time together before shooting and during shooting, both on set and off set, and we all got really close just by virtue of everybody being really nice and lovely, but also just the material and how much time we had to spend with each other. So I think that really comes through in the rest of the season of just like, oh, this is a family.
I love that. And you can see that actually. And you're actually playing like a young Mark Wahlberg in that case. So you really see this resemblance. You're like, oh yeah, I actually see that. Do you get a chance to, like, I don't know, watch like a whole lot of movies of Mark Wahlberg? Do you get a chance to talk to him? How did you manage to accomplish that?
I didn't get to talk to him. I did make sure to watch both Ted movies over and over and over again, just to get the comedic timing of it into my bones more than anything. But I didn't watch a lot of other Mark Wahlberg stuff because I wanted to be careful not to do a Mark Wahlberg impression. I'm not playing, Mark Wahlberg at 16. I'm playing John Bennett, 16-year-old masshole.
Yeah, exactly. And, I kind of wonder, there's so much, you were talking about the comedy earlier, and there's so much, the comedic timing is great in the show. Do you have like any line in particular or any scene that you were like, yeah, I mean, this one just is great. I could actually repeat it in my head after hours, after the shooting's over, and just laugh again.
Yeah. There's one bit in the first episode where we're waiting to get busted for having weed, and we're just leaning against the lockers, having a conversation about who you would eat first in a plane crash. And that is right down the middle in terms of my sense of humor. It's just like rat-tat-tat back and forth like that. That out of any of the scenes in the whole season, I would say, is like, oh yes, this is Seth MacFarlane humor. This is like that kind of comedy that's like smart and idiotic at the same time.
And to get like for one moment a bit corny, maybe, do you have in your life a person, a friend that you're like, yeah, we're kind of like Ted, and they get the main character in that sense that we have that relationship?
Yeah, with all my closest friends from high school that I'm still in touch with, I feel like we all consider each other to be our Ted, but in the way of just like, oh no, I'm John and you're the idiot douchebag corrupting me. We all feel that about each other.
That's great. And finally, well, to wrap up, if you could actually go somewhere with Ted, do something special, what would you, Max, be like? You would like to do? Like, where would you take him? Like, in real life?
Yeah. I might take him to like the zoo and throw him in with the gorillas and just see what happens. I think that would be very funny. Just with the gorillas or with like actual real live bears, maybe a polar bear who just sort of like bats him around in the water or something like that. I think that would be pretty funny to see.
And finally, last question: what did you actually learn as an actor and in the whole process by making season 1, Ted season 1?
Well, this is sort of the biggest thing that I've ever been at the forefront of. And the thing I actually learned the most as an actor over the course of the season is stamina management. You get tired so easily when you're doing that for like 13, 14-hour days, 5 days a week. That was sort of my first time having that kind of schedule for so long. And by the end of it, I was pretty burnt out. And it was definitely a reminder of just like, oh, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You have to watch yourself and take care of yourself.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Max, for your time. I'm enjoying a lot the series. So congratulations again, and talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.